Alright guys, welcome back to another one. So on this video, we're going to tear down the car a little bit and do a compression test. Reason being, when I went to go winterize the car, put coolant in it, antifreeze, I noticed that the catch can was smoking a good bit, more than usual. Well, actually, it never really smokes. There was a pretty excessive amount of smoke coming out of there and kind of had me worried a little bit. So what I did was took the catch can off completely and just hooked the lines up and started it to see how it would look coming out of the lines. And I'll throw a clip of that right here. So it's puffing pretty good. It is cold, 30-40 degrees out, as you can see. It could be a little condensation from the E85 and all, but I don't know, it's like 50-50. I've talked to some people, they said you might have gotten a piston ring. Some people say it might just be common blow by, you just leaned on the car really hard. I don't know. So for right now, I'm just going to do a compression test because that's all I have available. But I think I'm going to order a leak down and do a leak down if nothing pops out on this. I mean, regardless, I'm going to order it. It's already ordered, so it should be here tomorrow. So maybe we'll just do the compression and the leak down, just to see. I've never done a leak down. Honestly, I've never done a compression. I've watched people do it, but I've never done it myself. So let me know what I'm doing wrong. Give me some tips if I'm doing something wrong. Yeah, we're gonna pull these spark plugs out and get to it before it gets pitch black out here. There's the first plug out of the motor, cylinder 2, not terrible. So I got a little wooden block. I'm gonna make a spark plug holder for it. Just gotta drill some holes to slide these in and we'll have a little holder for at home. All right, I'll do this the right way and measure it out. Time to use some chat. There we go. Not too shabby for free. I just love having to work outside in the dark and not being able to have a garage. Not right there. All right, all out, and we'll pick up on this tomorrow when I have some daylight. All right, day 2. Got the leak down tester in, but for right now, we're just gonna worry about the compression test, and then we'll get to this after. So I have a list here of each cylinder. So I'll test it, write it down, and then at the end, I'll show you guys all the numbers and see how good or bad it is. redid a couple of these just to verify. I think I was getting some false readings at first. So this is about the third or fourth time I'm doing hole 2. Let's see what it is this time. Alright, so that's the final numbers. Like I said, I redid a couple cylinders a few times because I think I was getting some false readings. Hole number 1, 139. I verified that like 3 times. Hole 3, 145. Hole 5, 132. And then 7, 136. Cylinder 2, I did that probably 5 times. I backed it up with a 136. Verified that 3 times. Cylinder 4, 145, cylinder 6, 129, cylinder 8, 135. I see there's a kind of a big variance in some of these, like this 129 to 145. I think I might redo them as well, just to verify it was reading correctly. But I'm gonna have to do some research because I have no idea what any of these numbers mean. So maybe drop a comment, let me know as well. But I did get the leak down as well. That just came in a couple minutes ago. A little cheap Amazon one. Should do the job. It looks like it's right. So that'll be next. Probably not today because I have some things I need to do. It's Sunday evening. So probably do that tomorrow after work if there's some daylight out and see what that reads. But for now, I'm going to do some research on them results. And then, you know, just learn some more about this car and everything because that's what I'm here for. So I'll see you guys on the next clip. All right, so a little bit of time has passed. Not gonna lie, it's super cold out here in Maryland. Way too cold to be out here filming anymore. So I did a little research, like I said I was gonna do, on the compression numbers. I thought my numbers were a little low compared to some others, but from what I researched, as long as they're not too far apart. So my lowest number and my highest number is 11% in difference. And they said you don't really want it over 15, definitely not over 20. So I think we're right in the ballpark. Also, from what I've gathered, the starting compression really isn't that big of a deal and it's really not that accurate. The real thing that matters, which I know this for a fact, is this, the leak down test. So I got a little cheaper one off Amazon. It looks pretty nice quality piece. You know, just something cool to have now to my collection of things. I'm gonna try it out and see where we're at with the leak down and then do the same thing, write down them numbers, compare them, make sure they're all good because that's really what matters. And then, yeah, wrap this video up. I just figured I'd share this with you guys. That way we can learn something together and you can see what I'm doing. First off, you want to make sure you remove all spark plugs. All 8 of them, not just the cylinder you're working on. Remove all of them before you even get started. Then you're going to rotate the crankshaft over to top dead center for each cylinder, each piston, not just number 1. So that means when both intake and exhaust valves are closed, that way there's no leakage. The way I was doing it was I was waiting until I stopped hearing or feeling air coming out of the spark plug hole. That's your compression right there. So as soon as you crank that over and it stops, then you know you're at top dead center because that means the valves are closed. Then you're going to screw in your hose attachment that comes with your kit. Make sure it fits the right threads on the head for your spark plug hole, and you just make it hand tight or as tight as the hose will allow it. You don't need to tighten it down with a wrench. And to even do all this, you need to make sure you have an air compressor that goes over 100 psi. If not, you can do it at 50 or 75. You just have to do a little bit of math. So you're going to hook up your leak down regulator to your air line, crank it up to 100 psi, and then you hook it to the attachment that you just screwed into the spark plug hole. Or you can hook it up to the attachment first and then crank the regulator up slowly to 100 psi, which is what I had to do because I had an issue with some of the cylinders wanting to push the piston down into the bore, which will make everything rotate, open up a valve, and then you'll have a bunch of leakage and you'll wonder where it's coming from. So I had to use a breaker bar and slowly crank up the regulator so it wouldn't move the piston around. And if it was too hard, I just stopped at 50 PSI, and then I did the math. So once you get it where it needs to be, you check the gauge, you write down what the leakage side of the gauge says. It should be under 20. If it's healthy, then unhook it and continue these steps to every cylinder, and that's how you do a leak down test. Now let's finish this up. Well, once again, ran out of daylight. It's a new day, and we're going to go over the leak down numbers. So as I stated, I've never done this before. This is all new to me. I just got the kit. I don't know why I waited this long to do this, but it's actually a really good thing to have in the toolbox. So now that I have it, I can kind of keep track on the health of the engine, whatever engine is in the car. And yeah, I suggest anybody doing this. Definitely good to have. So here's what we ended up with. Really good numbers. A lot better than I thought. So I ran the little time lapse of me doing every cylinder, all 8. One big issue that I kept having was the piston wanted to keep dropping into the bore as I put air to it. So I would apply the air, it would move the crank backwards, and I wasn't getting a good reading because obviously the valves were opening. So I had to put a breaker bar on there and pretty much hold it in place so it didn't move. And once I figured out I had to do all that, I went through them pretty easily. So the lowest one being cylinder 1, 6%, and the highest 2 were 3 and 8 at 10%. So from my research, under 10 is amazing, but even 10 to 20 is still pretty healthy. Once you get over 20, it's good to run, but you know, it's got some leakage. So super happy with these numbers. Cylinder 1,
6, 2, 8, 3, 10, 4, 8, 5, 8, 6, 6, 7, 9, and 8, 10.
So all of them were under 10%, which is amazing. So engine is 100% healthy. Super happy with that. Especially the last time I was at the track, you know, we pushed it harder than ever, running that 5.1 at 135 in the 8th. In the beginning of the video, I said I was doing this because it was smoking a good bit out of the catch can, and it filled it up with a bunch of nasty, gooey green oil. So I was worried. That's why I did all of this. And the numbers are pretty great. So maybe it's just from the coldness and the new fuel I'm running. Maybe it's just milking the oil a lot more than Pump E does. I'm just going to chalk it up to that, and hopefully that's right. You never know what the future holds. That motor might be coming out and getting replaced with something. So you'll have to stay tuned and see what comes about this year. 2026 should be a pretty good year. I've already collected some parts to get the show on the road. So hang out with me, and I'll see you guys on the next upload. Thank you.